From Studio 181, I'm back at my favorite place to paint. I'm going to paint this little garden that they have here. So let's get work and see how this one will turn out, okay? So let's get started. We'll put in the sky. I like being in parks and seeing their gardens. The master gardeners always put in so much time and effort in them, and I really appreciate them, the gardens and the master gardeners. And I tell them this when I see them, and they appreciate me telling them because they know that their work is not in vain. With the sky and clouds in, we're going to put in the background. I like how the white and yellow ochre mix together and make a light yellow ochre. It's a yellow ochre is a yellowish brown that I really like. I put some grass around the dirt soil so it'll lay down so it won't be hovering. That's important because we don't want nothing to be hovering over the ground. Well,
Can I bug you?
I don't mind.
I just wanted to see what you were doing.
Ah, the scene. Beautiful scene.
I'm a bit of an artist, but my hands got messed up.
Oh no.
They're numb now, and they shake a lot. So.
That's not good.
Yeah. I just bought. I use ink pens, the old Quill pen, and I just bought all new inks and pens, and I was really getting into it. And I got COVID, and I was in extreme pain, so I kept praying, and then they went numb, which is good, but not so good. Got to be careful what you ask for.
Yeah.
Are you schooled or self-taught?
Mixture of both.
Mixture of both.
Yeah, I went up to Muncie, Indiana, and I took 4 classes up there with Bob Ross
Oh, did you?
teacher. So
Wow,
that was fun.
that's pretty cool. Yeah. So you actually got to meet him and everything.
Bob Ross died in '95,
I was gonna say.
but the first time it was a lady teacher. She was really nice because she had to fill in to help this one guy that had emergency surgery. So the second time I went up there, the guy that was supposed to be the first time he was there, he got all healed up from his surgery.
Oh, that's pretty cool. He did some amazing stuff. I used to love to watch him. His mood was so relaxing. I don't know if that was real or not, but he was like the most calm guy. And when he painted on TV, he projected that. So it was just nice to watch him work. I always wanted to try his stuff, but I was like, I just never. I always painted with. I used airbrush, but I painted with watercolor. So and then I mixed it with alcohol, and that gave me the ability. You can paint real dark, and then it lightens up as it dries instead of going the other way.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes it easier to work with. So I did that for years. Wore out a few airbrushes, and I was a draftsman and an engineer, so I did more like. I guess you could call it realism or actually just technical illustration.
Well, Bob was in the Air Force for 20 years, I think. He was the guy that if you showed up late, he'll get onto you. Or if you didn't make your bed, he'll get onto you. He screamed and yelled and
Yeah, I worked with a buddy in Florida that was in the Air Force. And when I grew up, we didn't have all the tools they have today. We didn't have computers. We did everything by hand. To have a logo made for somebody, we drew the logo out on ink on vellum. Then we sent that to a guy. They would photograph it and make a plate, and then they'd send the plate back. It was like we did it. We drew all the letters. We had to draw them. It's not like today. You just type it in and it spits out something. I know it's slow, it gets your paint dried.
well, if you get Create over the air, he's on Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m., 10 a.m. on Saturday, and 8 o'clock on Saturday night.
Really? Oh, that's pretty cool. I'd like to set up something in my apartment, but I don't own it, so I can't be slinging a whole lot of paint around. I get pretty carried away. So
Me too.
I do clay stuff. Kind of trying to save my hands. enough, you'll be able to see them all on the approach. And you're like crazy. I'm getting better as I go. It's turning into something. It's kind of like who's that guy? He did all of the alien stuff. Giger. It's like after you do 100, then they start to become yours a little bit.
Yeah.
And they start morphing into something it's not really what you started out to do. It's turning into like an armor look, but it's not like the old, medieval stuff. It's turning more into a space, like a future armor, weird looking combination. So, and then it's clay. I can do, perfectly sharp lines by just letting stuff pre-dry before you put it on. But
Yeah.
when I'm rolling it out, but it's more of a kind of a melted, a little bit soft look, so it's not that type of look. I try and get away from my old drafting background. Everything had to be perfect, and it was like, after 25 years of that, I don't need to do that anymore. I like his method of painting. It's so nice. I saw a guy in Florida who painted every leaf, and he did like scenes of the Everglades, and he painted every bird with this little tiny brush. And I'm watching him, and I'm thinking, man, hasn't he ever seen Bob? You back up, you really can't tell the difference. It doesn't matter. But when you went up to his paintings, gosh darn, he had eyelashes on the eyeballs. The guy was like crazy. He was, I don't know, I never got his name, and back then I really wasn't into art that much. So I knew I couldn't do what he was doing. That's for sure. What a beautiful day to be out. My name's Terry, by the way.
My name is Jamie.
I'm pretty harmless. I'm an old street preacher from up in the city. And then when COVID came through, I got all busted up. And I died. So now the last couple of years, I've been getting back on my feet again. So
Good.
what a ride. Seen some interesting stuff. Streets are kind of, I grew up in a little 600 people town. Well, when I went up in the city and started working, it was like, wow, this is really interesting and scary. Well,
I think this painting needs a big tree in it.
Art?
I'm filming
oh, are you?
for my YouTube channel.
Oh, hope I'm not being noisy.
That's
Sorry.
fine.
Can you take me out?
Well, I like people
Oh, okay.
for us to interact because then my audience will know that I'm approachable.
She's a beautiful lady doing beautiful work. Everyone should come watch. Support this lady. There. I tried to help
Thank
you
you.
out a little bit.
Well, my YouTube channel is Studio 181.
Really? I need to put that down. I have a horrible memory. And your name was?
Jamie
Jamie.
with 2 M's. It looks like it needs to be pronounced Jammy. That's really Jamie.
Well, at least I spelled it right. Usually I would have stuck an IE or an EI. Yeah.
It's Jammie.
That's yours? Oh, okay.
I was named after my dad. My dad's name was James.
My name's Terry. I was the girl in the family. They had 4 boys, and then they slipped, and I popped up. And so my mom wanted a girl so bad. We baked cakes, and we did all kinds of stuff together when I was young. Decorated in wedding cakes and all kinds of stuff.
That's a talent.
Yeah,
Decorate.
it was back in the day before all of the you know, new supports and everything were out. So you had to be pretty careful. You got them too tall. And marzipan wasn't really out yet. So it was just cream frosting. So they were pretty tender. When you get in a wedding, you could take too long and or set up too early, and you'd be sitting there and you look over and it's like, oh my God. You take off running, you gotta hold the cake up. You know, you get a 3 or 4 tier. It was a lot of fun. I got to spend a lot of time with her.
That's good.
I was,
Why a wonderful memory of doing those kind of things with your mom.
yeah, and she was 80, over 80 when she got sick, and she went into a nursing home. And my wife and I, my ex-wife and I, we went up every day for 3 years, I think, and visit her, and we picked her up, we did stuff with her and stuff, but we went every day. And a lot of people look back on that and they think it was the most horrible thing in the world, but I got to see my mom more than anybody and learn more about her and be with her than any other time in my life. You know, it was like, it was bad because she didn't want to be there, of course, but on the other hand, it was really good. She's gone now. That's been years ago. She's from the old days. She was like really cool. She was from the days when the farmers would plant fields, and then everybody would go around and they would go to each farm. All the farmers would get together and do one farm at a time. And her and her mom and all the women would get together and they would cook chickens and make big meals for all the farm guys, the farm hands.
Yeah.
And they would travel with them and go around. My dad was in there too with those guys. So they and she was a waitress too, I think. So she had all kinds of crazy cool stuff like that.
I think I'll call this one finished. Thank you for joining me today. Like, share, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. And I will see you next time.